Well, spring is almost sprung. Got my daylilies and irises coming out. I always keep the leaves on them for a little bit. It's kind of like mulching them. Got some other plants coming out too. This is my daffodils. They go around this ring. I had a lot of tree limbs fall down with the weather and ice and wind. And then it's about a 300-year-old tree. Take about 5 people to wrap around it. But that whole entire area just covered with flowers in just a few weeks. These are my daylilies. I'll be planting them fairly soon in that one flower bed on the back side of the house. There's, I don't know, about 80 of them. These are my naked ladies coming out. I've got about 60 of these planted down this bed. Not all of them coming out, but most of them are coming out. They're sticking their heads up. There's another one. And another one. Another one. That's about every foot along this big long bed. And got some irises coming out around that rose of Texas. And some more irises coming out around that rose of Texas. And them are all naked ladies around that rose of Sharon. And then I've got them planted all the way down to about right there. And then on the back side is where I'm going to put all those daylilies that I have over there. They'll run all the way down the bed and all the way over there. And then some more irises coming up in there. This is a black walnut tree that I planted. I'll probably be dead before it gets big. Them things take forever to grow. I've got one that's, like I said, I've been here 11 years and it's still pretty small. So I started to clean up my bucket garden. I'm going to remove all these poles, take all these old plants out, remove the black plastic. Then I will add cow manure and maybe some peat, depending on how good the soil looks like. If it's draining pretty good, I'll just leave it alone. I'm going to put the cow manure in it. And getting all these cleaned up and getting ready to plant. I was actually going to plant some cabbage and some broccoli and some other stuff this week. But I noticed on the weather that it's going to get down to 13 degrees. So I said, no, we better wait another week. And just to make sure that all that cold weather is really going to stay gone. If it gets down to around 24, 25 degrees, and your cabbage and stuff, spinach, cabbage, lettuces will actually have a little hard time. They can make it too, but when you get below 20, they usually croak. Alright. Greenhouse is nice and toasty. It's like 40 something degrees today. As a matter of fact, it's probably a little too toasty. I'm going to open up some of these windows. It's I think it's about 47 right now, but it's a good 75 in here and going up. So, oh, look at that. My first little figlet on my fig tree. Oh, there's another one. I mean, this thing yesterday, they barely had any leaves open, and look at all of them now. They're just going crazy. And my radishes are growing nicely. I have to thin them out a little bit. And my carrots, they're looking pretty. And of course, that's my Swiss chard and my eggplant I'm trying to overwinter. Swiss chard looks good. These are my tomatoes. I have about 280 plants. And I give some away, but I plant a lot. And I can probably 1,000 tomatoes. And then down here, I have spinach and Swiss chard and lettuce. And down there, I've got Swiss chard, spinach, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and down here, I have lettuce, lots of lettuce, cabbage, and kale. Some kale in there. So, and then this is my black-eyed pea experiment. I don't know if that's going to last long enough to get it in the ground. I probably should have waited another 2 weeks to plant it, but I don't think it's going to get warm enough for me to put it in. This is garlic bed. The ones you see right here right now are last year's garlic. And then, well, we're all getting, I didn't get that covered up good enough. But you can see that little thing right there. That's more garlic. And there's another one right there. So, there's another one. They're coming up. These are irises that I'm going to put on another one of them long beds. I got 4 buckets of them. And then I got some canna lilies back there that I need to take out. And then that one has got daylilies in it, but it's not really getting enough sun. This is my old bucket area. I moved all of it. It used to go all the way down there. And it's just way too much. For one thing, it's underneath 2 hickory trees. And as you can see, I have a hickory growing in my bucket. So I'm actually going to dig that hickory up and move it somewhere else. These are actually garlic chives. You can see them all over here. And they grow all in my yard. If you look, you can see little green patches sticking out all over the place. Especially back there by my barn. They're really covered. But they are really good. So it's nice to come out here and cut you some before you cut your grass. That's what I do anyway. And they're really, really good. My canna lilies, I gotta trim them. Trim all this dead stuff off. Looks like I got a armadillo dug down there and ate some of my canna lilies again. If I can get him in a trap or something, I'd get rid of him, but he's pretty smart. I may have to take him out another way. Oh, there's a, you look at it, a little piece of green canna lily coming up. That will die back again. Because like I said, we got 13-degree temperatures coming. And that canna lily won't survive through a 13-degree night. These are hollyhocks right here. And them got knocked over. Those are peppers that I need to really get cleaned up so them seeds don't go everywhere. And this is it's not really a compost bin. It's just a bin that I put my coffee and eggshells and banana peels. I guess you can call it a compost bin, but I don't add anything to it. And then when I get ready to pull up all the leaves after it starts to warm up a little bit, then I'll make a compost bin and add that to it. And then let it compost down. These are my asparagus. These were started from seeds just 2-3 weeks ago, really. Well, maybe a little longer. But they are just looking gorgeous. So I am going to start another one. I want to make a really big, huge asparagus bed out in the yard. Probably about 30 foot long or more. And just cover it with asparagus. These, they won't actually go outside or get planted until, I don't know, September, something like that. And then I'll up-pot them into bigger pots and put them in a greenhouse until it gets too warm for them in there, and then I'll find a place to put them for them to grow until I get ready to put them in the ground in September. We have some pretty hot weather and stuff in here. These are all fig trees that I started off my fig tree. You can see the little leaves growing on it. And that is ginger. I got them growing in there. 2 of them already started to sprout the greens, but the other ones have the little knobbies on it. That little white speck spots you see in there, that's them little fertilizer stakes for plants. And I break them into 3. So they're just very, I mean, there's not very much in there. There's probably, I don't know, that much in each one. And that is some okra that I'm going to put in pots and put out there. And then that is my bell peppers that finally came up. And this white that you're seeing is a, I thought it was a fungus at first, and then I remembered that I put a liquid fertilizer on it, and I think that's what that is. And then in the back there, I got two reused onions. So if you take your onion, you dice it up, and you just cut the heart out of it, and you plant it, it'll regrow. It's got some pretty good roots and stuff on it. These are irises. I have a row of irises in the front and a row of daylilies in the back. And looks like I'm probably going to have to dig these up this year and thin them out a little bit, because quite a few coming up right now, but it's nowhere near what's going to come up in the next couple of weeks. I take my kitty litter and dump it on them. Now, you don't never want to use kitty litter on a vegetable. Anything you eat, any kind of edible herb or plant. But for something like this, it's a good way to compost my kitty litter. And it actually doesn't stay there too long. And then I'll have to find another spot to put it this year, to let this start to compost down a little more before it gets too clumpy, too thick in there. But works really good. They love it. The actual kitty litter itself keeps the moisture in. My neighbor's dog over there barking at her chickens. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed my updated tour. Everything's starting to look really nice. And I appreciate you watching. Please like and share. You have a good day.